put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a great morning. My name is Bleaves. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world, and the state of the world today is up $58 billion, which is a big soaring number. If we get a couple of days in a row just like that, my friends, we'll be talking about an altcoin season before you know it. Bitcoin approaching 108,000 again. It really looks like momentum is on our side for another breakout move. Now, when will that happen? We don't know the answer to that yet. The unfortunate part about all of this is that you can't time the market. Time in the market is more important than timing the market. We know that, right? We use that as a mantra of sorts. Speaking of mantras finally finding some support around 20 cents, I want to say. Maybe we'll see a bounce off of that one coming up very, very soon. But before we get started, make sure that you hit the like button. That helps me out tremendously. And then once you've done that, step 2, get yourself some Blocky. Why wouldn't you? Go to Terra Casino, sign up, use your app down in the description, in the comment section, and we're going to be picking a winner. We'll be giving away money. And you like money, don't you? Everybody likes money. It's why you're here. So even though I, ironically, am not a financial advisor. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what's going on, and let's break it all down. Again, make sure you hit that like button on the way in. First up, Blocky. If you have not already, get yourself a bag of Blocky. You're going to. And look, right now, $500 up for grabs. It's not your average giveaway. It's the biggest and easiest one we've done yet. Buy $20 in Blocky, 1 entry. More additional 20s gives more entries. It's that simple. The more you stack, the better your chances. 5 lucky winners will each receive $100 in rewards. No extra step, no forms, no fluff. Just load up and lock in your entries. And that's from July 1st to July 7th. All we're saying here is a few small buys. Give yourself an opportunity to win a lot more. It is worth the investment, if you will, for this opportunity. And as this continues to grow, and the Blocky ecosystem, I anticipate, is going to grow phenomenally over the next little while. But things like this, they're constantly giving away money. They're constantly doing this. So it would be my belief that you're going to see just an incredible run here for Blocky when the time is right. And the question is always, when is the time right? Well, you don't know. What we do know is there are 5 different things. And by the way, Twitter's down, so we're going to do the best we can with the information that we have right now because, Elon, I don't know. I just, this app, I don't feel like it used to be like this, but it sure is now. So breaking things, that's the new news. So how do we know what's going on in the world if we don't have Twitter? You know what I mean? So let's look at the chart bubbles. We've got, again, we're up 50 billion on the day. That means there has to be something kind of moving a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's, look around here. We don't see anything that's really setting it on fire. So it's just some nice gains across the ecosystem. A few things are pulling back. Fartcoin, add that in and say, well, maybe meme coins are dumping, but that doesn't make any sense because Bonk's up 3%. Pepe's up 1.4. Start walking around these ecosystems and you see that, it's not really the case. Algorand down about 5% on the day. Jasmy down about 6%. So maybe little money's coming out of some of the other blockchains. Useless still having a nice run. But again, you're not seeing anything really breaking out. You've got Plume and you've got Grass having a move here. Just nothing. H up 57% on the day. This is Squid, SQD. All Prime, you got a little bit of movers, but again, I don't see any narrative here that's telling me that something is breaking out. I don't see a bunch of AI with green on it, stuff like that. Something is. Let's pop into ARC just at random and see what does our buddies at ARC do. Okay, the ARC.io domain has expired. Guys, nothing says you're in crypto more than seeing something that goes up 1,000% in a short period of time and doesn't even have a working website. Those kind of places can get massive pumps and can get massive moves, but they can't keep a website. Oh my God. You know what I mean? By the way, how is the volume for everybody watching right now? How is the volume? I've made some changes here. I've increased some of the gain functions and stuff like that. I don't know if the sound is okay. It felt like it was okay when I was editing this morning, but you know, if it's better or worse than yesterday, if you don't see any difference, that's going to be to the best. If it was already good, that is. If it sucked and it's better, you're welcome. If it's worse, then I'll figure it out. I'm just trying to move. I stopped the rocker arm for the microphone, and now I've got it desk based again. But I've got it in a specific spot where it's out of the way, and I just wanted to make sure that it's coming through pretty good. And I'm going to be moving around a little bit because I do stand up now. I'm doing stand up, so just making sure. In the 400 to 500 range, you got CBK having a little bit of a breakout right now. BGSC down again. I don't see anything that's really making any sense other than let's see what Koback does. What is the function, use case, and reason for Koback to exist? And that is, I don't even know what the fuck this is. Koback login, Web3. Okay, so it's all in jet. That's Korean. So it's all in Korean. I don't, you know what? Actually, maybe that's Chinese. All right. I don't even know what the fuck this is. All right. Well, whatever is going on here, we're getting some surges in some low caps. So money is rotating around. Is our buddies at Devi still up on the day? It is not, down 3.7%. The high over here was about 57, currently trading at around 57. So the high was 59. Rejected off 60 cents. Guys, Devi was incredibly predictable. So I don't know how that, I don't know what happens after that. You know, so we'll see. Fear and greed index at 63. So we're still continuing that downward trend. Remember, we are in a bearish right now position, and we're looking for some upward momentum, but we have not yet seen upward momentum, and that is key. Now, it is that I couldn't get you the articles because here we go. Standard Chartered Bitcoin. Standard Chartered made a Bitcoin prediction. Here we go. Okay, so Standard Chartered made a Bitcoin prediction that Bitcoin would hit a new high of 135,000 in Q3. Do you think, I'm just kind of spitballing here, do you think they mistyped and what they meant to say was 124,096? Ha. You don't? Whatever. What the fuck ever. Anyway, where the fuck did it go? Oh, Jesus Christ. Please get your shit together. Anyway, so Standard Chartered has said, here's what they think. They think in the third quarter, Bitcoin's going to 135,000, and that by the end of the year, it's going to break 200,000. That is a significant number, a gigantic potential rally. And guys, I'm here for it. Like, let's make it happen. Would be fantastic to see. And would be a sign that, again, this mass adoption thing. And by the way, I'm going to break this down for you in a little bit. But mass adoption, you know, all of these things. Why are altcoins not running? And I'm about to tell you. I'm going to break this down for you. I'm not going to have a whole lot of help because Twitter's down, but I will have some information for you. All right. So Fear and Greed Index 63. We're still getting some downward momentum here on Bitcoin on exchanges still coming off of exchange just basically means sellers are not stepping. Sellers are continuing to hold on the side, right? The buyers just continue to accumulate more than the sellers. You're winning. You're winning right now. So let's get into some new news. Astronova has partnered with Volt Inu. Now, why does that matter? We're thrilled to announce that our newest partner, Volt Inu, a Web3 ecosystem powered by the Volt token, bringing powerful utility and community strength to the world of memes. As part of this collaboration, Volt Inu will be one of our launch partners for Astronova's Token Play AI infra platform. Watch out for their game on Token Play AI soon. So that game that we've been talking about for a while, or I don't know if there's a little advertisement for it or anything like that, but Astronova appears to have, and by the way, I'm not familiar with Astronova in any way. I'm going to have to get familiar, but at this point I'm not. 313,000 followers. So it would seem like they've got a rather aggressive following here. So I'm going to learn over the next day or two a little bit more about Astronova, and we'll see what it looks like. This could be something really good, or it could be nothing. I don't know yet. So we'll look into it, and I'll let you know as I know. But Coinbase has also acquired Liquify in fourth major deal in 2025. And what does that mean? Well, Liquify is Coinbase has acquired token management platform Liquify, marking its fourth acquisition. And by the way, remember I told you before, mergers and acquisitions are going to be a big deal going forward. This is going to be a massive, massive thing. So we're seeing it play out. You're seeing basically it's game theory. You're seeing game theory play out. Mergers and acquisitions. I told you that was the next big step here for cryptocurrency, and you're starting to see that now. It's not going to, remember, one of the problems with what I'm saying here is just because that's happening doesn't mean that the market is getting smaller, or it doesn't mean that it's getting consolidated. Power is getting consolidated, but the market is not, because you still have just a shitload of meme coins just spitting out every single day. Okay, there's still just plenty of different things that are launching all of the time. So we're not necessarily consolidating, but some of these things are going to get strangled pretty soon. Just want you guys to know. It's coming. We're about to get a real paradigm shift in the way meme coin, everything. Okay. We're going to get a frenzy first. We're going to get a blow off here, but there's going to be some big changes that are going to come to this market over the next little while. Once this legislation and regulations really pass, we've got stablecoin, we've got the Genius Act, the Stable Genius Act, and then we've got the Clarity Act. So once those happen, and by the way, Cynthia Loomis has put in some crypto language into the Senate's bill, the big, beautiful bill, and that was rejected and taken back out before approval. So we don't have any regulation going in, but we will have some regulation. It's going to affect meme coins at some point, okay? So just be aware that it's going to become more difficult to scam you very, very soon, and that's a great thing. So shout out to Coinbase. I don't like them. You know I don't like them, and I make no bones about it, but they are good for the space. So at least there's that. Now, Bitcoin sitting at, let's go into the hourly, because it's been a nice little run off of this dip down to 105. Getting a nice little recovery so far. What's the gain on this right here? About 3%. So it's a pretty decent run that we're on right now. You can see we haven't had a run like that in just a little while, as we made up that next leg going from 102 to 105 and then surging in that range. If this is in fact this reversal right here that we're looking at, then we could start to see, the important thing right now is the test of the all-time high. Once we break through the all-time high, then we go back into price discovery, and that's where we find that 124,000 level. That's where that next big leg up comes from, and then that's going to start an altcoin rally. And it's going to start a massive altcoin rally. And let me explain to you why I'm saying that. And look, again, I don't know exactly when that's going to happen. The market looks like it wants to do it right now, but it looked like it wanted to do it over here. It looked like it wanted to do it over here. We're still in. See, we've got to break out of this downward trend right now. And if we were to do that, we've got 1, 2, 3 touches, 2, 3 touches here. By the way, when I say stuff like this, I want you guys to look at it and just be, look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a rejection. I want you guys to know that there's nothing about a 5-point just pump out of one of these channels like this. It's a change in patterns that you sometimes see when you hit that third little bounce right there, but we didn't see it right now. And there's no breakout right there. And the reason that I bring that up is because just a little while ago, I was doing a video here for Luna Classic. And in the Luna Classic video, one of the most common little things right here was somebody saying, yeah, that C Invest is saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That didn't happen. And the reason that I don't think the reason that I brought that up is because it's Terra Luna Classic. I don't think that's going to break out that way. I do think that it is going to break out, but that's not the pattern recognition that would tell me that it's going to break out. That's me. Look, it's going to bounce until it doesn't bounce. What you want to do, or what we want to do ideally, is, we'd like to get in here at this range. We'd like to discover, hey, we're starting to fight here at the top, and it doesn't appear that we're going to go up, so it's time to short it and go back down. And then we want to set a sell order somewhere right below where that previous one is, or at least at that previous one. We want to understand that. And once we get to that, if we do this right, then we know that we've got at least that coming in the future. So, when you're starting to play these games, then you start to recognize that there are patterns, but I don't think that in this context, there's, I don't think that's, it could do that for a long period of time. By the way, we see too many of them that do it for a long period of time. It's not a breakout. So, but anyway, even if I am wrong about that and we do break out, we got to break out above the structure of that downward trend. Otherwise, we're still bearish and we're in a bearish pattern. And then, again, a break up above here, and then we get into price exploration. I want to say that if we get into price exploration, and when we zoom out and we look at, what does price exploration do for us? Well, look, there's when we make these moves, they're not always aggressive. This last move right here, 3%. The move before that, though, I mean, it got crazy. Like, we remember this happening. Boom, and it went up 50%. So, that's the type of gain that I would say is entirely possible. Okay. By the way, if you look at this and you get alarmed, you should. All right. Because that's playing out right now. I mean, does that not look like we're at the top? You know what I'm saying? Like, does that not look like, so that strategy, that alone has me feeling a little bit nervous, because I'm starting to see market structure. I'm seeing it drawn out, by the way. And I want to point out, while we're at it, we have that spike right there, which is that spike right there. We have this spike right here, which is this spike right here, even including a small mini double top. And then we have the blow off top over here. That has me a little bit nervous, guys. I'm looking at this market as if, that we could be in the throes. By the way, that doesn't mean anything bad to me. What that means is we're that much closer to altcoin season. Just so you guys understand, like, if we're in fact near the top of this range and there is not much more upside, then there will be a blow off. And remember, we got that one surge right there. We didn't see this surge right here. Here's what gives me hope. Okay, there was that secondary surge. That secondary surge right here. Maybe, just maybe, we've got tremendous upside coming over the next 30 days or 40 days or 60 days. And then from there, we get a swing into altcoins, and then we break down. Okay, so we could be, by the way, looking at this structurally, we could be at the end of it. Now, data, we have to follow data. So we're going to close that out, and we're going to talk about, do we have the data? Well, the data says we're not even close, that you should be holding right now, and you shouldn't even be considering selling. Okay, the data holds up right now, and it is telling you that you better hold on for dear life, because it's about to get so much bigger. Now, everybody, again, just standard charter, 135 in the third quarter, 200,000 at the end of the year. A lot of people predicting things like that. all the way up to Michael Saylor predicting 1 million by the end of this bull run. Okay. So again, there is an aggressive move coming. It's in the chamber right now. It's just a matter of it breaking out. And by the way, when I say that, let's also go back and remember we were at 3.73 trillion market cap not that long ago. Okay. So we're at 3.27 right now, which means we've got about 500 billion more in capital flows before we get back to where we were just a short time ago. So, again, when that double top plays out, if that double top plays out, it will play out on this too. And this one will be up into this range. So we're talking about what I told you before, about 4.5 trillion. Now, I said ultimately, I think 6 trillion is the final market cap for the bull run. The bull run has been extended. So I think that we're going to continue to see that kind of play itself out. I mean, I think just basically game theory playing itself out as everybody starts to accumulate more Bitcoin. Michael Saylor accumulating. And by the way, the reason that I keep saying these kind of things is because I want you guys to think about something that's really, really important. Michael Saylor is Bitcoin right now. He is the biggest Bitcoin bull. He's the one that's making the big investment. He's the guy out there. By the way, he's not the biggest holder, but he's getting there, or his company is anyway. So they have developed a strategy, and it seems to be working, and they're getting the fruits for that, but they're not even getting started yet, right? Well, here's the thing. Yesterday, I'm going to show you this article, and then we'll talk about it. Grayscale. There we go. And this is gigantic because I don't even think people understand at this point how massive this move is. Grayscale has slowly narrowed the arbitrage opportunities on its crypto trust by converting them into exchange traded funds. Okay. Now, what is this? Well, this is where, guys, the narrative has now shifted. Okay. That's what this is. This is a weighted exchange or exchange traded fund ETF that includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. 5 different crypto assets. This is a first of its kind. Yesterday, it was approved. Now, do you know what that means? What that means is every one of these cryptos will have its own ETF, and they're coming. Okay. They wouldn't do this unless that was the truth. Bitcoin, Ethereum, done. We already know that one. The next one up, Solana and XRP, and then Cardano. All of those are going to have their own. So here is the next question. Who becomes the Michael Saylor of Solana? Who becomes the Michael Saylor of XRP? Who becomes the Michael Saylor of Cardano? And you might be saying to yourself, well, yeah, but isn't ADA just a stable coin? I mean, based on the price it is, but not really. I mean, I keep getting told that it's supposed to go up at some point. So Cardano, in fact, is not a stable coin. All right, for those of you that were curious. Now, this is perhaps the biggest news that you've seen indicating altcoins are coming. And again, this is not because of just this, okay? It's because it represents that this is going to be approved, that this is going to be approved, that this is going to be approved. And that's just the start. That's just the start. Those will definitely be approved. So we're going to have at least 5, including Solana, XRP, and Cardano ETFs. Now, again, you need that leadership, those people who are like, you know what, I need to accumulate as much Solana as possible. You need the maxis to step up. The XRP maxis, the Solana maxis, the Cardano maxis, they're going to step up. They're going to show value. They're going to give you, again, a value proposition here where you're going to earn. You're going to earn off of it. By the way, staking will be included. That comes in July. I was wrong. It was June. It actually comes in July. But we're going to get an update to Ethereum staking. Solana 19B4 filings do include staking, by the way. So when Solana launches its ETF, which will be within the next 3 to 4 months, they will have staking available native. So, that this is again, paradigm shift. I told you guys when Ethereum gets staking approved, then people are going to be disincentivized from ever even selling Ethereum because they're going to earn yield. And the question is, like, how much do you need to have in order to earn a living? Like, you know, what is the current yield staking Ethereum? The current yield for staking Ethereum is generally around 2.67 to 3.08, but this can vary. Some platforms may offer higher yield at 6.5 for current yield for Ethereum validation is 3.2%. So if you have $1 million, you're going to earn 32,000 in Ethereum every year for your rewards. And if you think that Ethereum is going to go up in value, then guess what? That's going to be significant, because let's be clear here. If you have $1 million today and you bought, or if you had $1 million at 2,000, let's just say 2,000, you bought 500. Is that right? 500. So you bought 500 Ethereum for $1 million at $2,000. Right now it's sitting at 2,500. So you're already up 25%, which means that your 1 million is 1.25 million, which means that the yield that you're earning is still 3.2%, but it's 3.2% on 1.25 million. Now, what happens when Ethereum goes to 4,000? Well, then it's 2 million. So your 3.2, which is 32,000, is now 64,000. What if Ethereum fulfills its obligation that I feel it has and goes to 8,000, which I think is the ultimate move there, 8 to 10,000 for Ethereum. And by the way, I'm trying to be conservative about that, but then you're talking about this thing going up 4 or 5x. So now you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're going to get every year just for being a validator with Ethereum. So this is going to make people more incentivized to hold Ethereum for longer, and people are going to trade more because there's more attention paid and there's more validators on the scene. And guess what? That people are going to be more incentivized to build on the network because it's going to be, quote unquote, validated in your mind, and you're going to earn rewards for it. Ethereum, when this happens, again, this is going to be a paradigm shift, and just based on the flows of the ETFs, they know it's coming. It's already priced in. So don't forget, by the way, when they announced this, I don't think that Ethereum, there's a possibility that this is priced in and that Ethereum could dump. But remember, it dumped like when it launched 3 weeks later, and then it really started to take off. Well, that's going to happen again as well. It may not take 3 weeks, may not take any time. Matter of fact, I could be completely wrong about it. The market could be in a frenzy and we could absolutely see it break out. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're an Ethereum maxi, good for you. You're about to experience it. Okay. I think that we're getting towards the end of whatever is holding this market back. And by the way, what's holding this market back is institutions. They are masters at manipulating. And God damn it, I got to say this. Don't forget, this is so important. There's a movement in America called Make America Great Again. And a lot of people use it as a catch-all for everything. We want America to be great, but when you look at America being great, or you look at how America becomes great, a lot of that is privatized industry. You need privatized industry, not publicly traded companies, but publicly traded companies who have been poisoning us and ripping us off and colluding against us and, you know, trying to get our money, you know, all of that. Elon took X and privatized it. Okay. And if it becomes a successful business model, I think you're going to see a lot of people stay in private business longer to provide competition and fight the people who want you. Look, basically people want you want the appearance of competition without actually having competition. And only through private industry can we get there again, because publicly traded companies are answering to stockholders who don't care about anything but your profit. Do you want any more proof than this? BlackRock, who's the one with Warren Buffett? God damn it, I can't even remember the name of it now. You guys know what the fuck I mean. These three big investment banks, they hold 90% of stocks. They are the ones that are propping these markets up. Okay. We need private industry to come back. We need privacy. We need people working against capitalism at its purest form right now. By the way, I don't say the problem is capitalism. The problem is pure unfettered capitalism that continues to milk everything towards the top. And it gives, look, it goes without saying, if I have $1 million and you have $10,000, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And if I don't win one time, I'm going to win 99 other times. So by the time you catch up and you come to the million range, I'm already 10 times ahead of you, right? So you go from 10,000, you 100x to a million, I 1,000x to a billion. I mean, that's the stair step. That's what happens. And it goes so far beyond what anybody or I even need. That's where we are as a society. And you're being deceived and manipulated by all of these different entities that are telling you that, you know, billionaires are good for you. Scott Bessent, he's great for you. Donald Trump is great for you. Elon Musk is great for you. George Soros, he's great for you. Microsoft, yeah, the nerd. Bill Gates, he's great for you because they give away a lot of money. Well, they make so much money. By the way, in this pure unfettered capitalism, there's got to be some fetter. Okay, there's got to be some fetter. There has to be a level of taxation that stops the billionaire economy. Okay, that slows it down at least. That, you know, you get taxed on your earnings over 100 million at 90% level or something like that to slow down the money going into that region. And then you have to have responsible people who are willing, like we did back in the old days when we taxed people over $10 million, 90%. We need to have strong people in government who are willing to use that money to build America, not just give it away to special interest. Like, we need strong people, and we don't currently have that. We have weak people. And, you know, when you look at Donald Trump, you want to hope for strength. You want to see strength. And maybe in some instances there's going to be strength, but there was strength in Joe Biden too. There was strength in Barack Obama too. There was strength in George Bush. There were just different types of areas of strength, right? And we don't know what they all are. We're just, hey, we're Americans. We're just guessing. Like, we don't know. We're just like, whatever. I voted for Donald Trump because it was a paradigm shift in 2016 away from the government. The government's job is just business as usual. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. I rejected that. In 2020, I rejected Donald Trump. In 2024, I accepted Donald Trump one more time. So, you know, I'm like most other people, really. And that's the way that it's worked. And if you get lost on the Paramount CBS settlement and stuff like that, if you're not seeing the forest for the trees, or if you watch Joe Rogan because you know, and you do it while you shave your knuckles, like whatever the fuck that is, look, you're going to get lost, but you will be found again. So let's move on, because now I got to get off my pulpit. I wish I had a stand where I could just be like that. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I made some changes, by the way, in the studio. I've got a few things moved around. I'm not done with it yet. It's not completed. I got some other stuff that I want to do. I've got some angles I want to get, you know, so you might still see that halo happening a little bit here. Working on this. It's going to take a couple days. I got monitors moved around to make it more logical. So I got monitor. You know what I mean? Like, now I have everything kind of in a good spot. And now that one of these monitors probably going to go, and the smaller monitor is going to be like whatever, you know what I mean? I'm working on it. So you'll see this. You'll see some improvement. If you like the improvement, good. If you don't, you're a Pokemon, not me. Anyway, sign up at KCEX. Sign up at WEEX. By the way, yesterday I had multiple hundreds of thousands traded on weeks. So I want to thank whoever it is that's been doing that trade volume. Thank you so much, because that pays the bills. You know what I'm saying? Dog. while we're on that subject, let's talk about boom, 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 boom. Our long position here, we're up $101 right now. I told you guys 2 days ago that I was thinking about maybe I would just take that. I would just take that money right there, and it was 120, I think. And maybe I should have just done that, and then I didn't, and then it started to come down. I'm like, God damn it. Well, now we're back at that level again where I'm thinking like, I want to see a break to the top. Like I want to see another break, some upside momentum. I want to see. So now I think what I'm going to do is 109,000. This trend line right here, I think I'm going to respect this trend line that I'm looking at right there. So if we get to 108,900, think I might sell. I think I might liquidate that position, and then I might look at it because, again, are we going to break out? Are we going to break down? That's the question. And if we look at it, then there's actually some data that we can use, and that would be the All right, so here we go, and let's zoom in. We have right there. Okay, so there is currently a CME futures gap. It looks like right there. And right there for sure, like in that 90,000 window. Isn't that going to be filled before? There looks like there could be right in this range too. So there are some futures gaps that we're still missing. We could see a broad move down here to the 200 MA for another test, and then a breakout from there. And we would feel good about it, okay? Because if you look at this one over here, remember, we had all of this right here. We were feeling really good. It was boom, boom, boom. Like, we are never filling that. That bugger is never getting filled. And then guess what happened? The market bottomed out, and the next thing you know, we got filled. Then we started again, and then boom, we created another one in that range right there. So could see the market come back down into the 90,000 range to fill that futures gap one more time before we see a breakout. Now, it seems entirely logical to me that would happen. What I would look for is I'm going to look for a similar play out, a similar circumstance. And that similar play out and similar circumstance, double top. We don't have a double top yet. So I'm going to look for a move, and then I'm going to look at what Bitcoin does when it hits 109,000. If it hits 109,000 and it starts to reject right there, up at the top of this range, then, maybe it's time to exit. If I see a nice little spike, if I see, again, we're looking at momentum. If I see a nice little spike up above, and then I see the price start to come back down, it might be time to go ahead and get out of it. I'm not sure yet. I want to see if it falls back into this range and it starts to head down, then I'm going to liquidate, because ultimately my position is at 102,000. If I can get in at 92,000, I'm in. Like, you don't have to ask me twice. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to be looking for. All right. So let's get into memes, because we got a lot of memes going right now. We got Winecoin's up 25% on the day. Puff is up 23%. Now, Puff, I gave you this call the other day at 2015, and here we are 2 days later. It's still kind of sitting at that area, but it's up 23% because it continued to dump. I wasn't sure of the bottom. I think I told you guys that. I wasn't sure. Could go down just a little bit more, but if it does, I would suspect that we're going to see a strong reversal from it, right? So I think that we're going to get a strong reversal from that. But, as you see right here, you can't stop people buying and selling. But I think that motivation-wise, I think that, you've really kind of seen Puff just continue to churn volume, 300,000 a day. Like, it's still, like, Puff is going to have another big run. So I would be watching for Puff to have a little breakout and probably test that 6 area again. I think it's going to be an easy 3 or 4x. Moonpig is up 15% on the day. I don't know that much about it, so I can't really comment too much. Weasel just keeps going. I'm actually annoyed that it doesn't just explode through its all-time high. That's where I am with Weasel right now. Like, and the market, by the way, the market's not going to bear that out. The market does what the market does. And they really haven't started anything. There's no reason for me to do that. I get the sense, I get the feeling right here. This is my opinion strictly, but you're seeing this kind of move right there. Maybe a little more like that right there, but that trajectory is slowing down, and I would like to see it a little bit more aggressive to keep and maintain that. What it tells me right here is we got to break down into that 168,000 range, and then you got to test, and you got to get up above, and you got to get into price exploration. You got to look, if you don't get to the million market cap, you got a problem. So I think that they're going to do it, but I want to see it play out. The one thing is we have to remember here, some micro caps, only 14,000 in liquidity. There's only so much money that come out of it. So I'm watching Weasel for a big move. If we don't see a significant move over the next couple of days, then we got to at least kind of look at it and say, well, maybe it's not going to go as high, and we'll DCA a little bit. We'll take a little bit of profit along the way, and then we'll just moonbag it and see what happens. O'Hare is down about 6x from the original. So we'll see whether or not it moves or not. And by the way, I think it should be important to note, we are in so many different little micro caps when we're looking at these. Like let's do that. When we look at it from this context, we're in these micro caps right here, 116,000 market cap, 189,000 market cap, 117,000 market cap, 180,000 market cap, 59,000 market cap. We have so many little tiny micro caps. One of them is going to break out. When that one breaks out, doesn't make me right, by the way. It just means that we got lucky. Full disclosure. Also, there's one that I gave you a little while ago. It's called Moon. I don't know if it's going to do anything. It was in the private chat. For those of you that don't know, it was in the private chat. So if you're a member of the channel, you got this call early. And look, what's going on is the developer is just mentioned that he was shaking out all the weak hands before this thing starts pumping. And so the high on it was 1.59 million. So just to go back to the all-time high is about a 15x. And the question is, can it do that? And I don't know that it can, but I can tell you that if you look at it from this structure right here, you can see that it broke out and then it just continued on. And then it had a nice little rip right afterwards. Let's move that back up there. It just kind of meandered. And then some interest popped and it went up like 2 or 3x in 24 hours. We got in at that point, and now we're just kind of waiting to see. That was a test to see if we could get the sell off. Remember, what we're doing is the motivated sellers are going to be selling at that previous test, right? Well, that also was a range right there. So what happened? It got there, and you got those people liquidated. And now the question is, are you moving up? Well, now let's zoom in and let's look. Are we on our way up? Thus bullish. So you get this move from the bottom right there up into this range, and then you get a breakdown, but that breakdown doesn't go back down to where it started, and it started a reversal again. That's usually a strong sentiment for a breakout. So if we get a breakout here, this will be a nice one. Now, as far as risk goes, I'm only in for half a Solana. So it's not a huge risk. If it goes to 1 million market cap, I'll take it out. I'll anticipate a move back down to the 300, 3 or 400,000 range. If it breaks out, a move back down into 300 to 400 to 500 million. And then I would be looking for that as a re-entry position. So, but again, it's going to have to break out first. So need to see that kind of move right there. And then we'll see if we can accumulate some more. We're just going to take some risk on this one and see what happens. Only $75 that we're in, might as well. So watch for that one to have a move. And by the way, again, if you're in the private chat, you already know this. You've already seen it. So if you're not, you should become a member of the channel. Next up, we got API 3 at 61 cents. Again, I'm not impressed so far. I'm looking for a lot more, but it's only 75 million market cap. The market is not pumping yet. Again, XRP, Solana, Cardano, ETFs, Ethereum, staking. Everything's lining up. The market is about to explode. It's just that we have to count the days, and we have to provide content in the days leading up to that moment. So that's what we're doing. But there is going to be another big move coming pretty soon. Speedy, sitting around 1 million market cap. Like see some of that speedy money come into WeSo. Like see some of that speedy money come into some of these other ones, and see what happens there. CC Coin up 1% on the day to 1905. Breakout anytime. Breakout anytime. Fias through about 3 million market cap, 22. Fias just had an enormous. By the way, shout out if you were holding Fias right there, because that was an enormous sort of breakout. Let's go back over to the price on that one. I mean, this thing went from like Jesus Christ. We were up. What was the number? I sold mine, by the way. So just so you guys know, 129%. And I kept telling myself, I need to just jump back in. I need to just jump back in. I need to just jump back in. It's like 1.1 cents. Like it's going to run up to a much higher number. Like it's going to run. And then son of a bitch, I didn't do it. So now I'm waiting to see if this is a false breakout, because again, last time it broke out like that, boom, came back down even lower. So what I'm looking to see is, will that happen again? And will there be an opportunity for another mass accumulation? Because like I got originally $5,000 worth. I sold it for $2,500. I took like a 50% loss. And that was my line right there. I think right there, like 5.5 cents. Oh, you know what? No, it was 3,500. I lost 1,500 on the deal just because I couldn't wait any longer. You know what I mean? Like I need to pay myself. So, but I've been holding it for, I've been holding it for fucking ever. So, and by the way, it was up to like 17 or 18. Like my bag at one point was like 12 grand. So I'm annoyed by not selling the top, but that's not who I am. So whatever. Also OM, again, it's at 20 cents right now. Again, my rule has been that as I get a little bit of commission, a little bit of fee, I buy a little bit more, right? I got enough almost to make another buy, but it's only going to be a $5 buy. It's like nothing big. But my DCA is down to 45 cents. Remember, it's 59 cents at one point, not that long ago. So I've been able to DCA my way down about like $100 the other day, $50 a couple days before that. Been a couple of dry days on KCEX, not going to lie. So I'm waiting when you get to $5, like the minimum buy is like $5. So one more commission and we're going to be buying some more. That's going to allow me to DCA my way down just a little bit more. Right now, my skin in the game is about $762. I don't like, that's not my number though. You know what I mean? Like what I would like to do is I would like to be able to get this down into that 30-cent range. If I were to buy today, like say the same amount that I have, $765 worth. If I were to do that, it's 20 cents versus 45, which means 37.5. So it'd be down, my DCA would be down to 37.5. So I don't really stand a huge gain in that regard. I'm just putting more risk on the table to make a profit a little bit quicker on that total move. So I'm not going to do that, but we'll see what happens. Okay. All right, so boom, 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 boom. Volt not responding to that announcement, still at 16. But again, markets are kind of tough. Markets have been, but it has $1 million in liquidity, by the way. Like that's a significant 1.7 million in liquidity for Volt versus a market cap of 197 million with 1 million in liquidity. Got to be honest, that's a little weird to look at. Blockchain Beauties down about dead even for the day. No one will know, about dead even for the day. CC Cash down 1% on the day. CC Rewards down 2.3. Dev E down 3.5% on the day to 56.58. And Blocky at 11.48, down about 7%. I like that Blocky continues to fight. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I like the fact that it continues to fight. So now what I'm looking for is does this break to this line and retest? I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. Remember, if we're doing it and the wave plays out, right? If we're doing that and that 5 wave thing plays out, one, there we go. There we go. And then boom. Right? So maybe that's going to happen. I don't know. I'm going to be looking at it at that 2 level right there at 0.002. Maybe taking some risk on it, maybe just seeing if I can scalp that and increase the size of my bag just a little bit. You know what I mean? Now I don't like, by the way, that the range is tightening. Let me show you what I mean here. When you take that out and you start to look at this, then you see that range kind of looks like it's getting a little bit tighter and tighter and tighter. So, it could be that we're at the top or at the mid range. So, could be some downward momentum, could be some upward momentum. We'll see. Let's put that all back to rights. So we'll see how this plays out. But I mean, again, I think that we're not that far away from a really big breakout move. And finally, Luna Classic. Okay, so guys, for those of you that have been here for a while, I'm a big time Luna Classic maxi. I do think that Luna Classic is going to break out. I think it's going to have some tremendous upside. Here is the problem. The problem is you're not signed up for TerraCasino.io, so get signed up today. And if you want to trade the Believe meme coin, then come over here and Terraport.finance. And we're going to swap that, and we're going to go up here. We're going to go into degen mode, and then we're going to type in Believe, and then boom, there is the Believe token. So if you want to, you can get yourself a bag of that. Right now, my little bag is worth 5.03 million Terra Luna Classic. So get yourself some of that, and thanks. Now, the reason I think that this community has been screwed is because of three validators. Okay, three validators I think are holding it back. Happy Caddy Crypto, who is losing a lot of validators. He is losing a lot of people with his bullshit. And then Interstake One, same thing. They've lost 25 billion in validation in the last month. And then Interstellar, 34 billion. So, from me to you, thank you. I appreciate the fact that you guys are recognizing that there is a problem, and the problem is those validators. I appreciate the fact. By the way, is there a dark mode on this? Because Jesus Christ, this is bright. Anyway, I don't think that they're good actors. And by the way, when I say that, I don't mean that they're trying to steal from you, bleed you, nothing. Okay. I think that they believe in a purely decentralized blockchain with no leadership. Fundamentally, I disagree with that. I think that we need to have leadership. I think that we need to show strong character, and I think that attracts people. Okay, so I don't like what they're. I don't like these guys. Okay, I don't think that they're doing anything good for us right now when we need leadership. Okay, now who does believe in that? Vegas, who is now number 2 because 50 billion of these of all these stakes that have been pulled out, a lot went to Vegas because Vegas represents what is currently right in Terra Luna Classic, and that is making sure that people can find you, making sure that people have a reason to use you, making sure that you have a platform and a place that is going to help you. And then Selenium, which is one of his projects here, that one's going to be another big one. That's going to be tokenizing real world assets onto this chain, so you can trade stocks and bonds and whatever you want. Like this guy's got a lot going on, and now he's a number 2 validator. And I've trusted his voting more than I've trusted these guys voting, and I got proven right. I hope that I continue to be proven right. So if you're looking for a validator who has your better interest at heart, I don't want you to go to Vegas, by the way. He's already got number 2. He's already number 2. Go with somebody who votes for the betterment of the chain. And by the chain, by the way, let me rephrase that. The betterment of you. Okay. I want you to make money. That's what it's all about. Okay. I think it's my impression that Happy Caddy Crypto is not a bad actor, and that Interstake is not a bad actor, and that Interstellar is not a bad actor. They just want pure decentralization. And you know what? Fine, except you can't get there right now without leadership. You have so many different pieces of an equation that you have to put together, and so much massaging of relationships and building of builders on the blockchain. And they're just relying on if you build it, they will come. Well, everybody built something. Okay. So if these guys think, well, if you build it, they will come. Sure. But why would they use you instead of Ethereum? Well, because it's just so much faster, and then the experience is a lot less and stuff like that. Okay, well, how do I explain to my investors or my developers how you couldn't keep Terra and Luna together? Well, that's not us. That was somebody else. That was exactly what the problem is. The problem was the leadership. The problem was the leadership. And you go over this time and time and time again. And the end result of all that is they don't know shit. They're just making it up as they go. And nothing, by the way, nothing says that more than the decisions that they make. And let me point out the decision that they make. Request to inject liquidity into Terraport, which got vetoed, by the way. And it got vetoed with comments here from Allnodes, Interstellar, and Happy Caddy Crypto. And Interstake didn't even bother to vote. Didn't even bother. They can't be bothered with this bullshit. You know, they got important taking your money to do. I don't like that. Anyway, so Allnodes said customers were not made whole after the attack of Terraport in 2023, which was a lie. Where did they get that lie from? From these two guys right here. Okay. So they lied and kept Allnodes in the dark. Allnodes then came out and said, hey, wait a minute. We didn't understand that they'd actually been made whole. So put that up for a vote one more time, and let's see what happens the second time. So they put it up for a vote a second time and said, you know what? Actually, we should do this. And guess what happened? Interstellar stayed on the sideline, or Allnodes stayed on the sideline, said, you know what? We're not going to, no, we disagree. We're not going to vote. And they said they were going to refrain from voting on this because they felt that it was a community decision. It was very important. So then what happened? Well, suddenly Interstake can be bothered to vote. So bad actors, all of them. They lied, they deceived you, and then they worked against you. All right. And by the way, the important part is by adding USDC to Terraport, you're creating an off-ramp. You're creating an easy and viable off-ramp in order for you to cash out your crypto. So, and before we get any further, make sure you buy some CC coin. If you haven't already, you know I'm big on this ecosystem that I think it's going to just fundamentally shift and change. Some of these meme coin this is one of those ecosystems where I like the developer, I like the team, I like what everybody is doing. They're not gouging you for money. They're just building quietly in the background for the moment when the market takes off. And when the market takes off, I think this is going to be one of those. And remember, we're in an attention economy, and CC is going to have attention. CC Coin will have attention. I will have attention. Tom Crown will have attention. All the people that talk about it, J Chains, all the people that talk about it, it's an attention economy. They're going to get some attention. So, and by the way, CC, if you're here, my X didn't work, so you haven't made any posts ever. Post something, Jesus Christ. Anyway, and Devi, guys, you know, and see, there's no comments here on Devi either. Like the X just broke for me. So anyway, we're up to 70 billion right now. Bitcoin just broke 108,200. Again, we're at the top of the range right now, where I have to make a decision. Like, do I want to? Do I want to? I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to hold and see what happens. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, what's the last piece? Oh, yeah, the flows on the Bitcoin ETF. You saw an outflow yesterday on Ethereum. You didn't see an outflow. Guys, I don't think you're understanding what I'm like. I don't see if you're saying, or I don't say if you're seeing the display that I'm being read. I don't know, man. Whatever funny shit that you can think of, I just said that. So laugh, please, and hit the like button while you laugh. Anyway, continued flows into Ethereum. It cannot be understated how much Ethereum is about to erupt, okay? Ethereum is about to go absolutely bananas, all right? Now, what does it take for that to happen? Bitcoin, 125,000. If Bitcoin surges, then the rest of the market is going to surge with it. But here's what's going to happen. Once that profit is drawn, once you've got boom, 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 every Chad like me with one Bitcoin is going to be like 125,000. I'm fucking selling, because you just went from 100,000 to 125,000. That's a 25% profit. That's take the money territory. Okay. So I'm going to take my 25,000, and then what am I going to do? I'm going to rotate it over into altcoins, because now I'm going to the casino. Now I'm going to gamble. All right. And what am I going to go to the casino? I'm going to do the safe games. I'm going to be the ones that maybe I can build my bag just a little bit. So I'm going to go to the top ones. What am I going to go to? Ethereum. I'm going to go Solana. I'm going to go to XRP. I'm going to go Cardano. Even though, again, Cardano is a stable coin. Fine, whatever. But it's going to go above like $1 at some point. So I'm going to go with those. And then what's going to happen? They're going to surge a little bit, because other people are going to be doing the same thing that I'm doing. People are going to see that surge and be like, oh, yes. And then I'm going to take profit again. And then when I take the profit again, what am I going to do? Then I'm going to start buying some real speculative assets like DevE or OM. I'm going to start buying some of these lower caps, right? And I'm going to pump those. And then we're going to have a meme coin frenzy, because I'm going to have made so much money, I can just throw it at you. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. So just for full disclosure, you're about to get rich, okay? All you have to do at this point is just take a deep breath, hold on for dear life, and remember, it is all going to happen. Now, yesterday I did a video for a project. I want you guys to know it's a pre-sale. It was, shit, I even forgot the name of it at this point. God damn it. I can't believe I forgot the name of it. Now I gotta go look it up. And what's crazy is I was thinking about it the entire time. Oh yeah, because I was thinking it was hilarious. Why? Because I just farted. Whatever. I didn't really, if it makes you feel better. Anyway, what I said was it's 2025 and farts are cool again, especially farts using AI. So they got fart AI, and as you guys can see, it's chill guy, only he's green and he's passing gas and something like that. I thought this was hilarious, so I want to share it with you guys. I'm not sure it's going to be a breakout candidate. I'm not sure that it's going to have an incredible run, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens there. So you can let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And that, my friends, is going to be it. So let's just see what happens here, okay? There's a lot going on in these markets. All of it good, by the way. There's no bad things that are happening in the market right now. And guess what? What that should tell you is we're in a bull market, okay? We've been in a different type of bull market than we've ever seen before. It's extended, it's longer, but I think that the reward for this is going to be so much greater. This institutional money coming in is going to set this thing alight. And by the way, the institutions are not going to pump your bags. The institutions are going to pump a few bags. I think they'll pump DevE's bag. I think they'll pump OM's bag. I think, Cardano, obviously, XRP, obviously, Solana, obviously, Pendle, obviously, Arbitrum, obviously. There's going to be some that are just going to be obvious, and they're going to pump those bags. But generally speaking, this is going to be about luring retail back in, and then getting the retail investors, especially the ones that are holding Bitcoin, to sell their Bitcoin for an enormous profit, and then throw their money at all of these high risk assets to make these big gains. So it's coming, guys. It's coming. We are in the bull run. It's just a matter of we need to see that big altcoin season like we saw back in November and December. We need to see another blow up like that. We need to see a good continuation of that. Remember, don't forget how much money AJ made. I mean, he like 4x'd his H-bar bag, and that was one of his biggest holdings. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a matter of time, guys. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit the like button on your way out. Leave a comment down below. And remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm just the most handsome entertainer on YouTube. And we'll see you next